Just I'm happy to see that not only does she pave the way for women, but also for men. I mean, we have Edwin Caso's the biggest right now, and he's talking about Jenni Rivera. Like that's just again, I'm saying it because it just makes me so proud. Buenas tardes.
Hi, ¿cómo están?
Hola a todos. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, it is
Thank
such a
you.
special panel, and it's the first time that all five of you get together to really talk about the legacy of your mother.
Yes, we're happy to be here all together. It makes it
Thank you for having
that
us.
much better.
Yeah, no, I want to start off by saying, and feel free to talk in English and Spanish, como le salga. I do want to start by saying, we describe Jenni Rivera as an icon, a legend, a game changer. What's one word that you would use to describe her, if each of you could answer?
Witty,
For sure.
iconic.
I would have to say Unbreakable for sure. I mean, that's the name of her book, Unbreakable, no?
Smart. She's very,
Very
very
smart.
smart. Inspiring. For sure.
I love that one. Yeah, she is.
Johnny, witty, in what way?
Her sense of humor was very much like that. She was very quick. Like she would keep you on your toes. Like I remember one time I was doing homework and we had just gotten a dog and I forgot what I did wrong on the homework, but she just looked at me. And the dog was sitting right there, and she just told me, "Look, Johnny, even the dog is disappointed in you." And she told me not to laugh, but I couldn't help but laugh. Like, how is she expecting me not to laugh? So it's like that. A lot of little stuff.
What does it mean to you all to be here together como hermanos and really talk about your mother, remember her, celebrate her, but also, we'll get to this, but talk about really special projects that are coming up?
Go ahead. I think it's definitely healing to be able to be with my siblings and to be together. I think it's just seeing us yesterday and being together and having fun, being a representation of her. I think she'd feel proud, and in turn, we feel proud of her. To be able to come speak with all these people for someone that we just saw as mom. Like for a long time, she was just mom, and she's iconic to so many people and inspiring to so many people. So I think it's definitely, for me, it's healing to be able to be with my siblings and be doing something as beautiful as this for my mom.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And just to piggyback on my sister, es como que siento mucho orgullo. Orgullo no nomás porque sea mi mamá, sino por mis hermanos, de ver a mi hermana en esta posición y que Johnny le ayuda todos los días y que también Mikey, o sea, estamos más unidos que nunca y poder estar aquí representando a mi mamá. It feels great. I don't know. As the oldest sister, I just know my mom's smiling. I know she's so happy right now, and that makes me happy, and I'm not going to cry, so no voy a llorar. But siento mucho orgullo, a lot.
Jacqie, you just said, for all of us, she was just mom. I mean, for you all, she was mom. But when did you all realize, when did it hit you, or what moment in your life did it hit you that you were like, oh my God, my mom is the icon, Jenni Rivera? How old were you, and what do you remember from that moment?
I think for me, because I ran away from it for so long, I was always like, I want to be normal. I want to be a normal person. But I think for me, it was a little later than anyone else. I think Johnny knew since forever ago.
I knew the difference. Like I knew if we were if we were gonna go to Vallarta, then people were gonna recognize her there. But like Ralph's is more unlikely. Like I was that aware at that early age.
I think for me, it was Staples Center, for sure. Like when I saw everyone, it was filled, and it was such a huge arena, like Staples Center. Now it's crypto, but for me, I was like, oh my gosh, that lady is my mom.
For me, it was also that moment because I have an attachment to Staples Center. I'm a big basketball fan, and like for me, it's a house of champions. And then to see my mom pack the house and it's like she was there winning her championship, and it's weird because I definitely separate it as well, but I'm it's never lost on me of what she means to music, but more importantly what she means to the people that she's touched. So when people come up and like they just cry because they feel like they're touching a piece of her, it makes I don't know what to do with it, but I know it's all love and it's a beautiful thing, and that she lived her purpose while she was here.
I guess for me is school drop-offs. she was very extra and loud, and everybody knew that it was her. So it was a little extra embarrassing. But definitely, like when I left high school, like I just knew that everyone loved her, and it made me happy. But it was also very difficult, at least for me. But definitely during high school.
What
Yeah.
were those drop-offs like?
Oh my god.
She would be bumping music every
I
morning.
went
She was
to-
a very loud morning person.
Yeah, I went to a public high school, so like she would pull up in her Mercedes and the Rolls Royce. I'm like, we can't just take like another car, like, like that's one, and then it would just be the music, and then it would just be funny. But yeah, it was the things I miss. But yeah,
I think it's so crazy that, sorry to interrupt, but I think it's so crazy to hear her say that because I don't remember school drop-offs. I remember me and Chiquis walking to school. So it's a polar opposite of what the younger ones got to what we got. It's actually beautiful.
What about you, Chiquis? I want to know that moment that you realized your mom was is an icon.
You know what? I think I was like 10 years old when I became her fan, when I was like, when no one else believed in her and kids at school would make fun of us or make fun of me because I had her picture and no one knew who she was. But it's crazy because I think Staples Center, of course, was huge. I was like, oh my gosh. I think it was, and this might sound weird, but when my mom passed and we were at my grandma's house for 2 weeks and it was nonstop fans outside. And for me, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is huge. Hay mucha gente que la quiere. They were just there for us. And I think that's when I'm like, oh my God, she's an icon. She's here forever. And it was beautiful to know that we were missing my mom so much, but to have ese amor del público and it felt good. I think for me it was like when it hit my chest and I'm like, oh, this is real.
Mike, you definitely mentioned about what your mom means to music now, the impact that she's had on a new generation of artists. And speaking of her legacy, something that I've seen is the new generation who maybe like didn't even grow up with her music or didn't really know that much is now like, I interviewed Edwin from Grupo Firme and he said when I would see Jenni Rivera on stage, like I knew that that's how I wanted to be because she was a star, not just a singer or anything. But what do you all take away from the impact that you're seeing on a new generation? And what's the difference between the impact that she had on those hardcore fans that she started with to these new fans? Like, what is the biggest difference that you see?
But just for me, I love when people be like, well, they'll bring their daughter up and she's like 6 years old. I'm like, she wasn't even alive when my mom was here. To me, it's just a testament to the fact that what she stood for, her talent, it's timeless, and it'll go on and have a breath of fresh air every few years because something will bring her back into the consciousness, especially nowadays because we need female heroes like that, and she's been that since back in the day, and like so yeah, I'll let them continue, but that's what it is for me.
Johnny, I know you're definitely like on social media and are definitely reading like the comments of a new generation. What do you see the new generation saying about your mom online? Like, what's the most impactful thing that's really touched you that you've seen?
I think it's because I like, even though she was my mom, I always knew how big she was, especially like when she did Staples Center, like we mentioned earlier. It was just a big wake up call for me, even more so when she passed, and it was just. She always like had a feeling her passing was going to be huge, but I didn't think we could all like think about how big it was going to be. So I think like now, almost 10 years later, the fact that they hold her up to standards of mainstream artists like Mariah Carey or Beyonce, you know what I mean? Like that's a whole achievement in itself. The fact that she's up there with the monsters, you know what I mean? So that's what I take away from it.
Chiquis, do you want to add anything about that impact that you're seeing also, like as an artist, that you're seeing on a new generation of artists, what that means for you?
Yes. I still see, for instance, Selena fans, niñas, she's been gone for what, 22 years has it been now? Or a little bit, I don't know. But to me, I remember what Mikey was saying right now. I wanted that for my mom. I wanted little girls to know who she was, and I see that, and to see Edwin say it so freely, sin vergüenza, like without que no tiene pena. Ajá, que no tiene, no es machista, you know, and says, yes, yo soy hombre, pero she was my idol. You know what I mean? That makes me so proud. It's like, dude, that's my mom. You know what I mean? Like, it just, those types of moments, because she's, I mean, it's going to be 10 years. And look at us, we're here. So thank you. I honestly appreciate it.
No, thank you all. Part of that legacy, obviously, her music is her legacy. Everything that she did for women, charities that she helped, that she launched the foundation. But you are also part of her legado, son ustedes. ¿Qué significa ser parte de ese legado como los hijos de Jenni Rivera cuando escuchan, wow, los hijos de Jenni Rivera, it is all of you like her. What does that mean to you all?
Really good question. Creo que para mí es diferente cada vez. Creo que representar esa unidad, que estamos juntos, que fue madre soltera. Ella siempre decía, Dios me dio esta oportunidad y esta plataforma para hacer inspiración, para ayudar a muchas mujeres que no sienten que pueden salir adelante y creo que podemos ser representación de que puedes lograr mucho, aunque la vida no fue como lo imaginabas. I think more than anything, that's the legacy. It's her music. It's all her dreams and goals, but it's the fact that she raised us well, and she reached places that I don't think she even believed that she can get to.
I mean, sí es una responsabilidad, you know, because yo siento eso de decir, tenemos que honrar su legado, ¿no? Y yo sé que para ella lo más importante en su vida eran sus hijos, y para mí también, por eso mis hermanos, y todos lo saben, que son súper importantes para mí. Así que obviamente me siento orgullosa, es un orgullo muy grande, una responsabilidad, pero más que nada decir, ok, hay que mostrarle al mundo que ella fue madre soltera, como dice Jacqie, y que hizo un buen trabajo, y hay que portarnos como yo sé que she expects. How do I say that? You know what I mean? Como ella espera, exactamente. Pero pues, yeah, I mean,
I think it's also like we carry different parts of her, so it creates the legacy. Like we all are very different in different ways, so it creates the legacy as one, and of who she is. Like we love caring for people, we love giving back. Everyone has an artistic talent, so it just creates something as a whole. And I think that it shows people like these are Jenni's kids. This is how she raised them. So I think it's super important, and I think like we carry it pretty well. So
yeah.
I'd like to say that that she prepared us for it. Growing up, you know, we have a million stories about weird punishments we would have for not having each other's backs and stuff, and but she instilled that in us, that this is all that we have and that we are her legacy, and everything that she built was for us to carry on. And when she passed, of course, we all have different mourning times, you know, like some of us are, my first job was working for my mom, selling t-shirts, selling chains, selling CDs at shows. And when she left, I worked in her warehouse, but my heart wasn't there, because I felt like to really honor her, I need to become my own person and find myself. And in those 10 years, I feel everyone has grown into who they're supposed to be, and we've taken all our life experiences, and now we can bring it back, and it's our time to really take the reins of what she intended for us. Yeah. And we could, like Jenicka said, we all play a different part, and I think it's exactly how it was supposed to be.
Johnny, anything you want to add?
Well, I was just thinking about right now when she said that, how Mikey said that mom kind of prepared us for this. I was thinking about how just a couple months ago I was looking at this framed birthday card that she had written for Chiquis on her birthday, her last birthday in 2012, and she said that she wouldn't rest until she saw her 5 children, how'd she say, accomplished and realized. That was in her last.
That was my last birthday card that she gave me. Yeah. It's crazy. I know. It trips me out.
Wow. That she said until her children.
Yes, she said I will not rest until I see my children accomplished. That was the June before she passed.
Obviously, Amazon is celebrating game changers. Your mom was definitely a game changer. #1 hits on Billboard charts. hasta ahorita, ¿no? It hasn't changed. How would you say your mom changed the genre, obviously, of regional Mexican, which is, yes.
Me and him were actually just kind of having a discussion about this, about like mom would launch an album like from 2007 onward every year. Like it was either a live album or a new studio album, and the fact that she maintained that consistency and quality over so many years, it's really really rare. And being the number one artist to do it in a male dominated genre, I think that already just says so much. Just besides her being herself, you know, nobody had really seen an artist like my mom. It's one thing for a woman to do it, but another thing for someone like Jenny to do it. So
She definitely set the bar.
Chiquis, and you're definitely following in her footsteps. You have a Latin Grammy nom for Abeja Reina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And this is you could win your second Latin Grammy for
I
the best.
could. I'm just excited that we're nominated again, and that I see it as, this is something my mom and I always talked about. And I said it, I've said it before, that one day she was going to rest, you know, and I was going to work, you know, because she was the motor of our home, and I stayed home with the kids. And the way I saw it was like, she's the husband, I'm the wife that stays home, takes care of the kids. I said, one day, Mom, you're going to be able to just chill with the kids by the beach, and I'm going to work. And I told her, I promise you. Never did I think it was going to be in this way, but I've kept my promise. I feel like, yes, I'm nominated. It's our nominee. Like, it's our nomination, you know? And I'm proud. I'm happy to see that not only does she pave the way for women, but also for men. I mean, we have Edwin Caso's the biggest right now, and he's talking about Jenni Rivera. Like, that's just, again, I'm saying it because it just makes me so proud, because she's like, oh, she set the bar for women. No, I think just for the genre in general, because she was so rare. She was a single mother. Yes, she was herself. She was outspoken. She did not take no for an answer. So it's just so many things that we can learn as the artist, but also the woman, you know? So I'm just proud to be her daughter, to be honest. Like, I'd still be a fan even if I wasn't her daughter.
Did you want to add in?
I was just thinking about how she, one of my best friends told me that she had the sensitivity of interpreting as a woman, but the presence of a man.
Oh yeah.
And you could feel that even in her personality.
Totally.
For sure.
I definitely want to talk about upcoming projects, because you are all expanding on her legacy, and there's a bunch of stuff that's coming up, including a single. I can say the name,
Yes.
Misión Cumplida,
Yes.
that's coming up, produced by Sergio Lizárraga. What does it mean to you all to be able to expand on her legacy, give fans new music, but finish something that she started so many years ago?
I think it's like I said, it's beautiful. It feels amazing to be able to do something for her. You know, she worked so hard for so many years. I remember seeing her wake up at 6 a.m. and pilas all the time, never stopping, always something to do. So the fact that we can turn around and complete something for her, I think it's healing for me personally. I also feel like us as children, we're all growing, you know, like just stepping out and gaining confidence from such a confident person. I feel like we're growing, and she left so much, you know, for us to do. So realmente siento que estoy creciendo, como que ella todavía está aquí para enseñarme, like, move forward, do this. You know, now as, you know, CEO, it's like you have to have ovarios, you know? So I'm like,
she got
I'm
some.
growing mine, and I feel like she's right
They
there
dropped.
with me.
And you can always hear her in the back of your head, like, you do something, if you're going to do something, you do it right, and you don't
Yes.
leave it undone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. I love to see Johnny en lo creativo del album, to create it, and even selecting the name of the order of the songs and how they're going to come out, y los arreglos, y ponle esto, and it's beautiful to see him grow, you know. I'm not gonna cry.
I know.
To see him step into his own, you know, he's the one that had less time with her, so it's just beautiful. Like it's like I said, it's really healing, but it's beautiful that we can finish this for her.
Johnny, if you could show everyone so special. This is the cover of the single or the album? The single.
This is the single. This is a single. This is artwork by, her name is Guti. Um, and
Y esa
so
es su
That's
puño
her
letra.
handwriting.
Ajá.
That's
Toda
real
aquí.
handwriting.
Those are
De
her
una libreta
handwriting,
que
her
encontró.
notes.
yeah, this is a picture from her last concert in Monterrey, and this one's from her session for Mi Vida Loca. So it's like the Jenny on the track, and then her right before she left. So
Tell them a little bit about the music, John.
Yeah.
well, this is a really special track because she wrote this one, and
Misión cumplida.
yes, Misión Cumplida. She wrote it in 2008, and I didn't know until this January that she had recorded the song. I knew she wrote the song. I had the writing on paper, the one that's on here. I had it since like 2016 in my room, and I was like wondering, I wonder if this song was ever recorded. And then lo and behold, when I got her drives this January, I found a recording of the song, and it's our lead single on our album name now. So I'm really excited for it. Produced by Sergio Lizarraga.
What did it mean to you? Because you found the recordings. What was that moment like for you, and to listen to something that she had written back then?
It's funny because I used to have like this feeling a couple years ago that there's this kind of anxiety when you're in a position like ours that like everything's gonna run out one day because she's not here anymore. And so when you find something new, it becomes all the more special. And honestly, it wasn't until we got like the music made and with the arreglos and everything done that it hit different, and it felt all the more special. So it's a really unique feeling, but it takes time for it to hit you. And something else I feel like we should bring up is that on this lead single is going to be the first time that her vocalist from Banda Divina, his name is Hugo, is going to be doing segundas for her on a recorded track. He never got to do them on an album before, so this is the first time he's going to be able to do them.
Wow.
Which, to add to that, I think it's amazing because se siente como que ella está poniendo todo en su lugar. Like,
Even the title of the song, like,
yeah, él tenía la idea, like, maybe we should do this. I'm like, yeah, I'll bring it up to the manager of my mom. And ellos, y Sergio ya tenía esa idea, like, para agregar a Hugo, a hacer las segundas. So it's like, we didn't even have to make it happen. It was already, like, it's like ella está poniendo todo en orden. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a single that's coming out November
2nd.
November. Okay. And there's an album.
Yes.
Okay, if you can
December
all talk a
9th.
little bit more about the album, what we can expect, what it meant for you all to work on this album as a family, and why Sergio Lizarraga. Obviously, Sergio Lizarraga is the founder and producer of Banda MS. Why him? What made him like the producer to work on this album?
Go ahead, Pa.
Well, my mom, if there's anything I know about my mom and her music, she was very picky. She was very picky, especially with musical arrangements, los arreglos. Y what my mom loved was la banda sinaloense. And, you know, Sergio is a master at that. So I feel like them together, it was like a glove being put on. And I think more than anything, the consistency of her sound across her music, because especially in banda, you can tell when a certain banda sounds different from another one. You want to make sure Jenny sounds the same before she left and after she left. You want to make sure like her essence is there. So, and the fact that he was already having that idea to put Hugo into the segundas was a major thing for us. Like, okay, this is like meant to be. So him especially, because I really felt like he was just going to be able to maintain her essence, and not just her voice, but the music itself.
And then the album, if you can all just talk a little bit more, or maybe more about the single Misión Cumplida, before we actually listen to a preview of the song today. If you can talk more about the song, the album, what we can expect.
What? Well, yeah.
Well, the single is supposed to come out November 2nd, and then you should expect a full 11-track album on December 9th this year.
And these are all new songs.
Some have been released, but I don't know if you want to.
No, we're just organizing a few things and making a few changes. I think everyone's going to be pleasantly surprised. We've worked on everything as far as like, we have a group message. So de ahí, ¿qué piensan de esto? O sea, we all have a say. And the track list, literally, our hands are in every little part of it. And that's one thing I love about Jacqie and Johnny, because I feel like they're in the front line of everything. Like, they still keep us in consideration, even though we're all doing our own thing. But, you know, they've been very proud of her, honestly. I just have to say that, you guys. I'm going to be a sister. I'm so sorry. No, es que les voy a decir, mi hermana siempre ha sido, she's been always her whole life very shy, you know, and I'm just, as the older sister, I've always felt like I have to be the leader, you know, and it feels so good to see my little sister leading and doing such a great job and doing it with grace. And le salió una actitud, no sé de dónde, pero yo estaba como que una vez le dije, ¿qué vamos a hacer de esto? I was very upset. I said, what are we going to do? Obviously, respetando su posición. Pero me dijo, don't worry. Dijo otras cositas ahí, pero dije, wow. Leí el mensaje y dije, bueno, no me tengo que preocupar. O sea, she's leading and she's leading well, and Johnny on the music side. It's just, we're all involved, and I'm just so proud. I don't know. I sit here and I'm like, I've been waiting for this for so long.
I love when we're in the office and, you know, there's a million things going on at once, and, you know, people, you know, there's a lot of back and forths, and Jacqie, she'll just be like, I don't know who they think I am, but I'm not the old Jacqie anymore. I'm like, yes, sister. Yes.
The world better be careful, okay? But just kidding.
Like I said, she's helping me grow.
I love that. Mike, you said that even your mom had something to do with the name of the single, Misión Cumplida. What's the backstory of that?
Well, I'm not a huge spiritual person, but I do believe in seeing omens, and that this song kind of just, we found it, you know, at the perfect time, and it ties back into what Chiquis was saying about her getting a chance to rest, because her mission is completed, and now we can carry on the dream that she had for all of us and for herself, and everyone brings a different piece. And so I just, you know, it's like, that's not a coincidence. There are no coincidences in this universe. You know?
And as I listen to the album over and over again as it exists in the moment, because it's not done, I've been listening to it even when it's just had vocals. You feel like every song has like an element to the story of the last 10 years. Like, all my mom's music was autobiographical, but like everything can somehow fit into the present moment right now. At least on a personal level.
I want to piggyback off of that. It's been almost 10 years, so it's kind of like, it may feel a little late, I think, for us, because we've been healing in our own, but like to be able to see everybody receive it so well, to still love her, to still shout her name, like, it makes it feel like, wow, like it's never too late, and it feels so good, like that. I'm really excited for everybody to listen to the album, because there's really cute and really nice surprises there. That I really hope everyone enjoys. But I really feel like it's important, like now that it's 10 years, like I don't think we intentionally waited to do it at 10 years, like an album. I think it just all happened. Like, it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, a year ago. So now that this is here, like right now in this moment, now that we are like in charge and like getting it together, like this is us, like this is the family, this is what we have to offer, and I really hope everyone likes it.
Okay, what if we listen to the song, a piece of, just a small part of the song, if we can play Misión Cumplida.
Yo renuente a ti, la puerta no quería abrir.
Yeah, so good.
Thanks, guys.
That's her pen. That's her pen.
What goes through your mind when you hear that song?
I want to know who she wrote it for.
I know, that's what I was
wanna
going to say,
know.
because she wrote it back in 2008.
It was in her journal from 2008. I don't know who she could have wrote it for at the time, but the way we've kind of interpreted it, I look at things in a bigger picture sense, in a much bigger picture sense, and I kind of feel like she's la misión cumplida del público, because she didn't want to be a singer at first. What won her over was her fans' love. So, más o menos, it's like they were the guy that was trying to take her out, and they finally accomplish that, and now she just fell in love with the art.
I even think like her speaking into existence, like again back to like now that this song is coming out in this time, like this is the mission
There's
cumplida.
double meanings, double
So,
entendres.
Yeah, I'm excited for the fans. Oh my god.
What do you think they're gonna say?
I mean, they've been asking. They want to know. They've heard that there's new music and stuff like that. But this, I mean, this is just something, a gift that I think my mom waited to give us until this moment. You know, when my sister took charge, and I'm excited for them. I'm excited for her. Like, she deserves to continue. You know, she's still alive thanks to the fans that keep her alive. But this is just another like, you know, it just makes me very, very happy. Yeah.
I personally love, Johnny, that you're working on music. I think it's so special and like a full circle moment for you to be part of this as a musician, as a producer. What do y'all take away from that? Because I think it's so special as the baby.
Well, I mean, my mom was on stage and he was in her tummy. I mean, he's been on stage his entire life and he knows about music and you know, when he started singing himself, I was like, I want you to go to school. I need you to know about the tonos, and I want you to play a piano, and I want you to be better than me, than mom, you know, because I didn't play an instrument. I tried. My fingers are too little, you know, so I couldn't with the piano. But I don't know. I say, I'm like, he's 21 years old y sabe mucho de música y lo sabe bien. O sea, él tiene muy buen oído. So it's just, he even helps me in the studio, this guy over here.
I don't know. I'm just so proud of him because I've been waiting for him to come into his own for a long time, and it's been slowly coming. And there's hard moments where we all have, you know, where you're not sure if you're doing the right thing or if you're doing enough. But you know, I work in the office. I ship out orders and stuff and manage things back there. But then I walk by him and I'll just like drop in on him, and he's hard at work going through files and files and files and videos and snippets of songs.
Super passionate.
But he's so fully into it, and I see him living his purpose, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, he's been doing something around managing and organizing all my mom's information, not just her music, but her life in general. Like, we call him the encyclopedia. Yeah. So he already knows everything.
He's the world's foremost Jenni Rivera historian. Like, if there's anything you need to know, I'm like, Mom, what
he
John?
Knows the date.
Where's this picture from?
What date was this? And he has a whole backstory about the given picture.
He's very smart. He's very smart, and I think this is where he's like destined to be. Like, this is his shining moment. Like, everyone always has, you know, talked mess or said something about the way that we were raised and stuff like that, but it's like everything comes into light and into purpose for a reason, and I think we're all in each other's purposes, and he's definitely in his right now.
For sure. I think we're the ones that are in meetings together the most, and he's very respectful. Like, he's very like, I want to respect people's creativity. I want to respect people's experience. I always tell him, obviously you have a bigger say because you are her son, and he's just very clear in his vision. Like, with the whole album, it was like, let's just go back to the basics. Let's go back to how Jenni started, which was banda, regional Mexican. I know she just stepped into mariachi, and then she did the pop y todo eso. Y va a haber un tiempo where we will hopefully bring out those things too. But this album, it was very important for him for it to come out as banda, as true and authentic as my mom was. And proud of those roots. So just to see him grow in his voice, and he's been this way since he was little, like the production and the creativity and knowing exactly como lo ve. Like, honestly, I don't have that mind, so I admire it. I'm like, man, like, I didn't hear that. He's like, maybe we should add this instrument or add this. And I'm like, I'm cheering him on. I'm really, really proud of him.
Yesterday, I witnessed a really cool moment. We have, I don't know if we could even talk about that project, but she was rehearsing for something that we have coming, and she was trying to get the key right. And Johnny's like, no, look here. So he pulls out his phone and has a little keyboard on it. He's like, this is where you want to be. Ding, ding. And for me, I don't understand that language, so I'm over here like listening to people speaking Russian or something. Like, and they're just like, but it was just a beautiful moment. I was like, okay, like,
this is just the beginning for him, for sure. For sure. I mean, I'm not going to say who, but they're so worried. Oh my God, he's 19, 20. He doesn't have a job and this. And I said, you know what? Wait. He's going to surprise the heck out of all of us. Y él me va a estar prestando a mí dinero al rato. O sea, this guy is gonna be like, they're so worried. I'm like, no, and now he's shining. He really is.
Creative genius. I have two more questions and we're running out of time. But is there anything new that you learned about your mom that you didn't know before as you're working on these new projects?
I think it's less more working on this project. It's more so like the stuff that's been happening on the side. Like we've been this whole last like 2 to 3 weeks, we've been looking. Me and Jacqie have been looking through her personal files, stuff that like you wouldn't think that she would save. And she found an email and a whole schedule for me that I didn't even know my mom had. An email of her at 11 p.m. at night trying to email my teacher trying to get me into a school for like performing arts and stuff like that we've been like finding out. It's like I remember at this specific moment like I was feeling kind of like a little bit irritated at my mom and I was maybe giving her a hard time in my own head, and I'm thinking like she wasn't taking my own feelings into consideration here the whole time. She's just trying to get me into a school. So it's realizations like that, like damn, she was just always on the move.
I mean, it is tough. I mean, I feel like this is a little bit off topic, but more than anything, it was just a reminder and confirmation for me that Dios, los momentos de Dios son perfectos, and my mom is still very much here with us, and she just aligned everything. It just happened the way it was supposed to. I think now we're more mature, we know exactly what we want, and for me, it's what I'm like. Thank you, God. Thank you, Mom, because you're literally still guiding the way for us, especially when it comes to this, but letting us do our thing at the same time. But as far as there is something, but I can't talk about it, so you guys have to wait about that.
I think for me, yo siempre estaba bien alejada de este lado, de la música. Siempre era bien como que in my own little world. Rebelde. Muy rebelde. So, ahora que voy aprendiendo, como les comento, voy aprendiendo, la siento aquí al lado mío, like, y realmente es la primera vez que la siento tan cerca en 10 años. Like, in this year is the most que la siento, la veo y puedo ver que a ella le gustan las cosas de calidad. Like, I just see how things are falling into place. It's kind of weird, like, I'm like, okay, that's weird, no lo voy a ignorar, pero siento que ella está poniendo todo en su lugar, como les dije, pero it has to be done right, and I feel like there will not be anything less for her. So I think even in that, not taking, no for an answer, not settling. It's like, no, it has to be up to, there's a certain place where she wants to be, and I feel like we're carrying that out, and so that's what I'm learning,
with integrity.
Yes, con mucha integridad. So.
For me, it's more personally as a parent. I feel like I think a lot of people in general, we're very hard on our parents when we're growing up because we don't understand everything. And I'm healed in the sense that I grew up very resentful towards the career because it took time away from her, and ultimately it took her from us. But now I'm very caught up in my own career, and then also trying to do what I can in her company to give back to her for all these years. And then sometimes I can't spend as much time with my daughter as I want, and then now I'm beating myself up like she was out doing all that to set up a future for you and generations to come. And so I had to learn, like, you know what, it wasn't her preference, but she had to do it to leave her legacy. And so I forgive you, Mom, and I love you.
I think it's all together, like learning her as a person. I think we missed a lot of that because she was so focused on being an artist, and when she was home, it was like very quick mom things. It wasn't like I didn't get to know a lot about my mom. So I think finding things through like her lyrics or her old notebooks or things that she never really told anybody, like her friends, people that they have memories with her. It's like, oh wow, I never knew that about my mom. Like, it's kind of cool. So I think now it's like we learn little things here and there about her, and it helps us grow as people as well.
If I can just
Yes, of
piggyback. Lately, I've been doing a lot of office work. Estamos trabajando en la oficina y nomás limpiando files y para agregar a lo que dijo mi hermano de que creo que fue difícil para nosotros entender su trabajo y crecimos un poco con resentimiento, pero I've been looking through the files and I just want to let all of them know that we were the top of every list. Like it was always, I'm worrying about Chiquis. How could I help Chiquis with this? How could I help Jenicka with this? Let me get Johnny into the school. Praying for Mikey, praying, like prayer list. Tenía listas de oración para nosotros. Y digo, es algo que sana realmente porque aunque no pude estar allí todo el tiempo porque estaba trabajando y le estaba echando todas sus ganas para sacarlos adelante, pero siempre estábamos en mente. All the time. So I just want to let you guys know.
I think we all felt it at a point where we're like, dang, like I wish mom wasn't so busy. I wish she didn't have to miss birthdays. And little did we know that it was just, like Jacqie said, I saw something the other day and it was, how am I going to help the kids? Yes, always. That's, wow, I don't know.
Even going back to listening to the song right now, I have a lot of friends that we've lost, that we bond like that because we've all lost our moms, but the blessing that they don't have is that they can't hear her voice, their mom's voice again, so they have to live with those memories, and then every few years I get a new message from her, and it's just, it's never lost on me. I have to, we're so blessed that we're still discovering pieces of her, so.
I love that. Well, we ran out of time, but I want to thank you all so much for sharing, por la confianza, and again, misión cumplida el 2 de noviembre.
El 2 de noviembre.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos. Thank you so much for coming.